life course you did?
Well, I didn't really select it. I was stuck with it. I'm not a dropout. I was never in.
How do you mean that? How do you mean you were
There was
stuck?
almost no way in which I could disguise myself as a real person. Long before I dyed my hair, long before I lacquered my nails. At school, when there would have been no opportunity to tamper with my appearance in any way, I was already an outsider. I was already somebody that all the other schoolboys commented upon.
Would it be fair to, in American, call you a weird kid when you were
That's right, yes, completely.
You once wrote that wherever you are, on Earth, as a matter of fact, that you would always be a resident alien.
That's right. I'm technically, in America, now a resident alien. And as soon as the phrase was used, I thought that's the way it always is. I'm a resident alien.
If nothing else, though, you have been, I seem full of cliches at the moment, but true to your style. You've pretty much been what you are all your life.
Oh, yes. As the years go by, my view of myself changes very little. And therefore, the path is toward being more and more like myself.
I found a remarkable passage you wrote. You said you passed from being an outcast to being almost universally accepted with such speed that you've never had time to experience ordinary life.
That is true.
What made us accept you now that we beat you 50 years ago?
The fact that there are, even if there shouldn't be, fashions in morality. Morality has changed in the part of the world that we know now. And it has changed because power has fallen into the hands of the young. First of all, the money fell into the hands of the young. Now, a young person under the age of 25 with $20 a week has $20 to spend. A person after the age of 25 with $20 has nothing. So a market had to be invented to use up the money of the young. And people who will throw their money about have the world for a footman. So everybody started to pander to the young. The clothes are now all for young people. And the rest of you have just got to force yourself into these clothes. And as the young have always wanted more sexual freedom than their parents thought was good for them, and have always cared less about worldly power, the whole structure of society has changed. The idea of getting on has disappeared, but the idea of getting off is now universal.
You once wrote that it was always better to be a member of the majority.
Yes.
That is an opinion.
That is an opinion.
Well, why didn't you in some way try to make yourself a member of the majority?
There was no way. It would have been hopeless. It would have meant acting every moment of the day as though I were a spy. It would have meant watching my step all the time, because I don't behave the way I do in order to annoy society or in order to placate it. I behave the way I do because this is the way I am. And if I wanted to change this, I would have to watch my step all the time. It just seemed too much to ask.
I can't help but project, and I think if I was a young person as you were growing up in London, literally being beaten when you went into the streets, that I would have taken some steps to disguise it. At least I wouldn't have dyed my hair and worn lipstick.
Yes, this is true. You could avoid the worst of the confrontations. But the progress that I made from what I originally was, when I was a child, of course, I alternately confirmed and denied. If I was at school one day, I would think, oh, I can't bear any more of this, I will make like a schoolboy. It was a great failure. So the next day I thought, this is too undignified, I should go on the way I always went on. Then the opprobrium became so great that I gave up again. So I moved backwards and forwards. And in the end, you have to move into the center. And you have to adopt a life in which you neither try to annoy the neighbors, nor try to placate them. In other words, if you want to develop your lifestyle, you ask yourself, if there were no praise and no blame, who would I be then?